Happy College Basketball is Back Day. Let's make that a national holiday because as of releasing this episode today on Monday, September 22nd, which is also my first wedding anniversary, first-year wedding anniversary.
Ryan.
Thank you. Shout out to Jess upstairs right now. But today is the official mark of the start of the college basketball season.
Anniversary, very secondary.
Sorry, yeah. Teams are allowed to practice. Official practice is starting today,
We're back.
even though they've been doing everything they've been doing.
We're back, baby.
We are back, and it is conference preview season starting officially today on the podcast. We're starting off with the Mountain West today. Listen, you know I'm a Mountain West guy through and through.
You love the Mountain West.
And this kind of is like, the Mountain West is going to live on, but this is like the real last hurrah for the Mountain West, sadly.
It's the last hurrah because next year 5 teams are leaving.
To the Pac-12.
Yep.
With a bunch of other teams, which the Pac-12 will be unnamed. No conference preview for the Pac-12 this year. That'd be funny.
But shout out Oregon State and Wazoo.
They're technically Pac-12 or WCC / Mountain West.
For 1 year.
Whatever. We got a great episode, conference previews. Like I said, we're going to do every major conference in the country, starting with the Mountain West today. We're going to do news and notes around the nation. We got some good stuff. We're going to get into the home court advantage of the week. And then we're going to get right into it. We got power rankings. We're going to go through every single team. We're going to give out awards, all conference teams, like player of the year, coach of the year, etc. Bold prediction, and we will get into Q&A at the end. So let's get into the news and notes. News and notes around the nation. We got to start with Wofford. We talked about it on the podcast last week.
Yeah, you're going to be pretty heated about this one, I think.
I'm actually okay now.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay.
Talk to me.
Kind of. So we talked about Dwight Perry getting fired from Wofford last week. We had no idea. We were speculating.
We assumed
something had happened.
Something had went on.
Something did go on.
Barely.
Kind of.
Barely.
6 players, 5 of them new to campus. I'll try to be quick on this because I know people have seen the video that I posted and they kind of have known what's going on. 5 new players, 6 of them got to Wofford. They had upperclassmen housing planned. The school fleeced them and gave them underclassmen housing. So and they had a meal plan because they were living on campus. Because of that, coaching staff said, hey, let's find you guys a place to live off campus because this isn't good enough for you. We wanted better housing. They find a place to live off campus. They still use the meal plans, which apparently they weren't allowed to.
Right.
People were kind of up in arms about that, about like meal plans can still be used off campus, but private schools are super different, and like a lot of them have different rules, so that's kind of the story with Wofford. But nonetheless, the school was pissed. They were using anywhere between like $84 and $106.
A ridiculous nominal number.
Yeah, so basically they were like meal swipes is the reason why the coach ended up getting fired, although I have heard a lot of things about like they were looking for a different reason to fire the coach. Okay. There are other things behind the curtain. I don't really know all the stories, but the 6 players that got suspended, they have all been reinstated. Their attorney did DM me on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Mark Pepper.
Did he say anything of value?
He said if I ever need anything to hit him up.
Okay.
But he also said that they're all reinstated, coach TBD.
Good. Look, everybody who follows college basketball knows how silly this is.
It's ridiculous.
That the NCAA in any way, shape, or form came down on this or had anything to do with it is crazy town, but it's Wofford, so here we are.
Exactly. And they were in the NCAA tournament 3 months ago. 3 months ago.
And I think they're like kind of a staple at this point.
Wofford's been nice ever since like the Fletcher McGee days for the current generation. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a shame that it happened the way it did. I'm glad the players are able to play.
Yeah, we'll see kind of what happens with Coach Dwight Perry. It does not seem like they're going to be bringing him back from everything I have dug up and kind of learned and stuff like that. But nonetheless, at least the players get to play. Give the kids meal plans. That's the end of the story. Yeah. Give the kids meal plans. Before we get into the other basketball news and notes, I just want to share some personal stuff about this week. Is
this anniversary related or not?
It's not.
Okay.
Anniversaries, good things. I had one of the most physically and honestly emotionally stressful weeks I've had in a long time this week. First of all, I have a broken pinky. I broke that 2 weeks ago. I had a dental implant taken out of my mouth on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, nice.
I was sedated. I was like, I'm on these pain meds. Tuesday night, I sliced my finger washing the dishes. So I had to get stitches.
Show the squad.
I had to get stitches on my finger.
Nice.
It's not that bad. It could be worse. It's very Halloween-y. I've also, as you know, I've gotten like 200 to 300 stitches in my life. On my knee, my feet, my head.
You had one job that was like 150.
At least. Yeah, they didn't count. They stopped counting.
Is that true?
They did 3 layers of stitches on my knee. You guys can see that?
Man.
They stopped counting because they were like, we're just going to keep going.
That's pretty gross.
So,
I mean, look at my finger.
Your finger's
That's
gross.
a straight finger.
Anyways, I just want to.
How you feeling?
I'm not trying. I feel great.
Are you taking the pain meds from the dental implant for the finger?
I have stopped taking pain meds altogether.
Oh,
I'm not a big pain medication person.
That's a shame.
I do have a high tolerance because of all this stuff, but I'm not a big pain meds kind of guy.
I'm
prescribed
glad
like
that the finger. I mean, you're moving
Yeah.
it around pretty good.
it can curl like it just it doesn't hurt.
Maybe you should keep
Yeah.
it for Halloween.
Frankenstein's
When
fat
do the
foot.
stitches come out?
Next Monday, a week from the
Okay.
episode releasing.
Okay, great.
And right in time for a nice little trip we have planned where I might need to be on the ball a little bit, so that's a good thing.
I can always step in. It's fine.
We'll see
Although
about that.
I will say, after seeing the last week of that program, I'm not interested in any physical activity.
It's NC State for anyone. We're going to boot camp with Will Wade.
Yeah,
All right,
no, that's-
next
yeah.
news and notes, Siena, MAC school, the MAC,
Yes.
Metro
Ma'ac.
Atlantic Athletic Conference, not the MACtion Conference. Siena got their highest recruit in program history, Ryan Mesh, to commit over Providence.
Yep.
So Ryan Mesh, 4-star recruit, highest recruit in program history for Siena. Let me just say that this is awesome. And actually, let me go back. Ryan Mesh, if you haven't seen him play, he's like 6'1", crafty guard, really good playmaker, really good pick and roll guy on the ball. So he's awesome for, I think, mid-major basketball.
Yep.
And he's a local guy, which is great. It's awesome for Siena, obviously. He's going to step in, Ryan Mesh, when he comes in class 2026 and be one of the best, if not the best, mid-major player in the country, and definitely freshman at least. I think he's that good, and he'll be that suited up for that level of league play for sure. And I think this is a big step for college athletics. People don't really realize that. They kind of just see it as like a one-time thing. I think you'll see more high-ranked freshmen, high-ranked high school recruits start to go to smaller schools early in their careers as freshmen and as sophomores even right away, because so many guys, high recruits, especially 4-stars that aren't like prolific 5-stars, they commit to big schools, SEC schools, whatever. They get buried in the rotation. Then they transfer down, and they're still trying to figure things out, and they're kind of almost on like lost time, right? And at this point, if you're proactive about it, like Ryan Mesh, you get ahead of it. You go to a really good level, good program that fits you offensively and kind of what you want to do in your skill set, but you know you're going to be the dude right away. And then you have the chance to transfer up. Like, I don't see why more high-ranked high school recruits aren't going to do that.
I forget which coach it was that you were talking to. It might have been Coach Savage at ETSU last week. One of the coaches had said, like, we want to be the stepping stone. And I think stepping stone has usually in sports been like a bad thing.
Right.
I actually think the programs that take it seriously and like almost act on that are going to be in a really good spot, because it's going to be kind of normal for what's happening here.
And that's what – so Brooks did say that.
Yeah, Brooks. That's what it was.
Woj said that too about St. Bonaventure when he was being interviewed about like, how are you going to change St. Bonaventure?
That's who
like,
it was.
yeah, and Woj was like, no, like if we can help guys get to where they want to go, that's fine, because they're going to help us in the meantime.
Yeah, it's a great move. Also, one thing I'll say about, how do you say his last name, Ryan?
Brooks Savage?
No,
Ryan
the
Mesh.
player. Ryan Mesh. Thank you. The funny thing about Ryan Mesh is when I first saw it, I was like, oh, why would a kid go out of state? He's technically from Massachusetts, but
it's all right there.
That's what I was going to say is where the school is Siena is like right over the border in New York.
And if people don't understand the Northeast in general,
it's
like
it's just all
New
here.
Jersey, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, and the Providence fans were pissed. Obviously, Providence fans are passionate. Fryer.
I know.
Fryer. That's what I comment back to every Providence fan. Fryer. But Ryan Mesh, awesome. I think it could start something for Siena too. Like,
sure,
they have time to recruit now and much more. And think about the transfer portal next year. So not after this season, or it'll be after this season. Guys say, wow, they got a really high ranked freshman coming in to realistically one of the bottom 10 conferences in the country. So, hey, if I'm going to go down to that level of league, why wouldn't I go play with him at Siena?
Well, and like, I know we want to move on here. I don't want to bury the lead too much, but Siena's coach is Jerry McNamara.
He's awesome.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And for that area of New York, he's a legend, so it makes a ton of sense here. I think Jerry's going to have a nice little career at Siena. I don't think he's going to be there for that long.
He might not be after 2026 season.
Yep.
So we'll see. All right, that's news and notes. Let's get on to the home court advantage of the week presented by Home Field.
This week's home court advantage presented by Home Field is one of our last home field advantages, Ryan. And we are properly heading to Bloomington, Indiana for the Indiana Hoosiers.
And what's better for a home field sponsored segment than to go to Indiana? Not only the state of Indiana, but like IU also. Like they have a
flagship store.
They have a literal store.
Yeah. By the way, I'm wearing home field swag today from my
the
football
new box?
Yeah, from the new box, from the Maryland box.
That's tough.
Really sweet, really comfortable. Great swag as always.
Oh, I love that. I love the yellow add to it.
It's really nice.
Sorry, go on with the segment.
Indiana beat the absolute piss out of number 9 ranked Illinois. I know, in quotes, number 9.
But number 9.
63-10.
That's crazy.
63-10 was one of the craziest Big Ten environments outside of Ohio State, Michigan State, maybe Madison that I've ever seen on TV.
It was the first top 20 matchup in Bloomington, Indiana in 38 years, I found out. So, and think about this, like, man, how far has the Indiana football program come?
I mean, the last 2 years, like, Kurt Cignetti has done a remarkable job.
He is
Indiana football is a hard job.
It's not easy.
It is a hard job.
It's not easy.
It's a basketball school. You have to play Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, you name it, all the big schools in Wisconsin most years.
Yeah. It's
a remarkable job. They showed out. They're going to be borderline top 10 probably by the time this episode comes out or later in the day.
That's sick.
They deserve every ounce of positivity they're going to get this week.
Hoosier fans are all over me all the time, basketball world, but the environment there, like you said, was so crazy. And then it started raining also.
Yeah.
And like there's slow-mo videos of like rain droplets coming down and the fans going crazy. The kids don't care at all. Like it was so electric. It looked so cool. I was so jealous that I never went to a big school like that.
This is a college basketball podcast. We're not here to talk about Indiana basketball right now.
Right. Indiana, you hear anything in the state of Indiana, you think basketball.
Yeah.
We're talking about Indiana. Football, perfect for home field. That's the home court advantage. Shout out to Indiana. All right. Conference preview time. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a big moment for the podcast. Because I think these are the episodes, the conference previews, where you start to realize the basketball season is actually approaching.
And it's great exercise for me because I get to dive in on a lot of guys who I haven't heard of before. So I'm ready for it.
Especially in the Mountain West, I don't think you know everything.
I know enough.
You know enough, and that's all you got to be here for.
I know enough.
The GM of the podcast. I do want to shout out some of the jerseys behind us. We have a couple Mountain West jerseys, obviously. We have a Boise State jersey behind you, and we have a San Diego State jersey over here. Not from the program. I actually have had that one for a while, so if they want to send a new one, that'd be great. We also have a Whitman, the Whitman Blues jersey behind you. It looks like a Michigan one, but it's Whitman. Shout out D3. Walla Walla, Washington.
Walla Walla.
Go Whitman Blues.
Walla Walla Whitman Blues.
That's crazy. I'm a
fan. I love it.
And then behind me, I mean, NC State did customize a jersey for me, but UC Santa Barbara Gauchos, AJ Mitchell, NBA champion signed jersey, the pride and joy of Santa Barbara. I mean, shout out AJ, shout out the Gauchos. Those are close friends of the program. They all are at this point here, but love that one. Had to shout out the jerseys before we get on to the conference previews. No more stalling, no more segments. Let's get to the goods.
Well, really quick though. How many conferences are you going to be able to hang 2 jerseys on? Not that many.
Not that many. I'm looking at the jerseys racks behind the camera.
Yeah.
Not that many right now.
Maybe Serie A.
Although, yeah, there are some soccer jerseys. MVC, we definitely can.
Okay.
But we did talk about MVC already, but A10 also.
Okay, cool.
That's about it. Anyways, here's what we're going to do. This is how it's going to roll, and this is what we're going to do for every single conference preview. We're going to go through our power rankings. Adam, GM of the podcast, I don't know. People might be here for you also now in the banter, but Adam's gonna give in here also.
I have takes.
So we're both gonna do power rankings. We're gonna talk through every single team in the conference, and then we'll get into awards. All conference first and second team. We'll do player of the year, newcomer of the year, defensive player of the year, coach of the year, bold prediction in the conference, and then also Q&A. So like top to bottom in every single way, we're covering this conference.
Yep. I think my take on this is that really to the whole podcast, is that you have to be kind of like the level-headed, analytical, driving the ship.
You can say whatever you want.
I can be passionate, and I can talk how much I like or dislike teams. Wait till we get to the ACC.
Well, you could say stupid stuff too, and I really I can't do whatever I want.
Well,
actually, I will do whatever I
don't think they're stupid. I believe that I
Let's
have
get on
things
with it.
to say.
We're starting off with power rankings, and we're going to start off at number 1, and we're going to go down from there. You want to say it on the count of 3 because I think it's going to be the same team.
I'm almost positive it's going to be.
Number 1 team in the Mountain West this year will be 3, 2, 1, San Diego State. Shocker. They might be, honestly, San Diego State could be a top 10 team in the country this year. I firmly believe that.
We're on the same page. You're so deep.
I don't think that's crazy at all. I wrote some notes down about them also just because like I was going off, and I'm like, oh my God. This team, I was like thinking top 20, and then I kept writing things down, and I'm like, they're so good. They're so much better than I even expected. So last year, they barely made the tournament as an 11 seed. They weren't fully healthy, but they barely made the tournament last year. They returned 62% of their minutes this year from last year's team, which is I think it was like top 5 in the country-ish, something like that, next to like Purdue and Northern Iowa and teams like that. Miles Bird is awesome heading into his senior year. Magoon Gawath after an amazing freshman campaign. He was freshman of the year and defensive player of the year for the first time ever in the conference. BJ Davis, Reese Waters
Back
is
from
the biggest
injury,
thing. Reese Waters missed the entire season last year. Him being fully healthy, which they say, Dutcher said that he's going to be ready to go for the season.
They bring back
So
3
massive.
starters, but it's really like bringing back 4 starters.
Right. Reese did start, I think, every single game in the
Close.
2024 season when they went to the Sweet 16.
It was close to it, yeah.
He came in after the Final Four year. He's awesome. Sean Newman from Louisiana Tech. I love him. People didn't watch him much last year. I think he didn't break 10 points a game, but he basically did 10 and 8 a game, 8 assists. Like he is as pure of a one guard as you're going to find.
And Louisiana Tech is a
good program.
Is a good mid-major program.
8 assists a game on any level in college basketball is crazy.
Yep.
Like Braden Smith was there and like Ryan Nemhard and a couple of guys, and that's it in the entire country. So you're getting one of the best playmakers that's returning in all of college basketball.
Yep.
They have 2 4-star freshmen coming in, a couple of other transfers.
Jeremiah Odin from Charlotte.
Yep. And then on top of that, you get into Brian Dutcher. Like,
I mean,
he's one of the best coaches in the country. People don't appreciate him enough because he has one Final Four run, national championship game run. But the guy, like, he's been to a Final Four. He's been to 2 Sweet 16s, 5 tournaments in a row at San Diego State. He has elevated San Diego State well above everybody else in the Pac-12. Well above everyone else in the Mountain West in terms of, like, program quality and long-term outlook and just general status.
Yeah, you and I were talking before we started here, and I was like, how much better are they than anybody else in this conference? And I think we disagree a little bit. But the consistency that Dutcher brings, they've been a top 25 defense for 6 straight years.
That's the big thing.
And by the way, the only reason it's top 25 is because one of those years they were 21.
It's funny. And like or it would have been 20 or whatever. Right. Yeah. Their defense is always good too. That's a Dutcher thing, and the guys he brings in, like Magoon Gawath was a freshman last year. He's going to be one of the best shot blockers and interior defenders in the entire country. And he can step out and switch too. That's what makes him so versatile. But that is a staple of the Dutcher kind of system. They could be a top 5 defense in the country this year.
Yeah.
Efficiency-wise, like maybe not 1 or 2 because just like for what's it called?
I expect them to be top 10.
Adjusted for opponent quality.
Yeah.
Like it'll weaken throughout the Mountain West play. The big thing for San Diego State for me is like I love Miles Bird. He's a friend of the program
Can
too.
they score enough?
Is he like they always kind of have a dude? Like when they were great, they had Jaden Ledee a couple of years ago, and they've kind of always relied on someone. Last year they weren't able to as much. So it ended up hurting them, and they weren't able to be this prolific team. The offensive end of the floor can get nasty for them at times, and I don't love that. I know Miles has been at pro camps. I know he went to tested draft waters. Like he has to take a big leap, I think, in terms of being able to score the ball and in ISO creation and kind of on his own when they need him most for them to be a top 10 team in the country. Yeah, they will be top 25 all year, but for them to be like, we want to be a Final Four team, like a Final Four like favorite.
Yeah.
That's what they need.
It's going to come down to how they can score. You said the name of the same guy that I was thinking, which is Reese Waters is going to be the key to making this team go.
Man, the guards, like Miles, he has to be the scorer, but like between Reese and Sean Newman and BJ Davis, like
BJ Davis is going to be great this year too.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you that the problem it's almost always with San Diego State is can they score enough?
Yeah.
They're going to go 9 or 10 deep every game this year without issue.
Yeah.
Which I think will be really good for that. Look, the Mountain West, I almost said the Big 12. The Mountain West is going to be a slog at times.
They're going to kick the shit out of teams, though.
Yeah, there are going to be some really ugly games. I think that they win this conference by minimum 2 games.
They win ugly games because of how they play, though.
I know.
That's what's great. You think they win by minimum 2? 2 to 3 I could see, but minimum. Like you think that like there's 0% chance that they don't get first, assuming health and whatever.
Honestly, you can even because they go so deep outside of maybe Miles Bird or Magoon, they can probably lose a guy and still finish in first. So I would say
they definitely can. I
would say that barring a great run by one of these other teams, and I think there are teams that can do it. I think that you are correct. San Diego State has this.
I think, and we'll wrap up on San Diego State but they're worth talking about a lot. Like we need to. In conference play, to me, like they can finish second in the conference and still be top 10 in the country at the end of the conference play because that's how conference play works in a lot of leagues that beat each other up like this. Like Big Ten, whoever wins the Big Ten is 99% of the time not the best team in the Big Ten to me. It's the same thing in leagues like this where when teams beat each other up, it doesn't always the conference standings doesn't indicate everything. We're doing this in September and October, obviously. So like we're just kind of giving general power rankings.
Yep.
They're gonna win the league, but I'm just saying that I don't think it's that simple. That's all.
Okay. I was really quickly looking at their non-con schedule.
It's good.
UCLA, San Diego, Michigan, Oregon, Arizona. It's going to be a lot
Their
of fun.
players era, I think, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing in the players era.
That's gonna be fun.
That's where they get Michigan.
All right. You said you don't see them finishing anywhere besides first. Then that means your number 2 is going to be far off. Let's go to number 2. I'll let you go first.
I have Boise State at number 2.
I think that's what majority kind of analytical things would say.
This is really a bet.
Let's talk about Boise State first.
Yeah, this is really a bet on Leon Rice for me. Because I think that the rest of the conference, I think like 2 through 7 or 8, really 8, is like kind of squished together where anybody could finish. I think Boise State and Utah State will probably be at the top of that, but everybody else could finish anywhere. This is a bet on Leon Rice for me. I know they lost Tyson Degenhart, but they return a lot of their scores. And you and I have already talked about this. The nation is ready to learn about future American hero Andrew Meadow. They're just ready.
If you don't know Andrew Meadow, and he's good too. He'll be their best
he's
player, I think. Yeah.
He is excellent, but he has the look of an American hero.
He has the rec specs. He had long hair. He cut it, though.
He cut it.
But he cut the hair.
I know.
I think he looks better with the cut hair.
Me too, but it was a
terrifying.
little bit more like Adam Morrison with rec specs when he had it going.
That's instead of the mustache.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
minus the mustache.
Yeah, so Boise State, I don't have at number 2.
Okay.
I have them at number 4.
Okay.
I don't think it's like 2, 3, and then a little gap. I see like 2 through 7, and they're kind of all going to be all over the place.
Okay.
Where
I agree.
not all over the place, but they could be all over the place. My thing with Boise State is Leon Rice offers them a really good floor.
Yep.
The system is great. They're always good. They're basically always a tournament team in the last few years. Like, I get that. They returned some solid pieces aside from Andrew Meadow, mostly depth guys, Buchanan, Carmichael, but they lose Tyson Degenhart.
Is a big one too.
They lose Alvaro Cardenas is a huge one. Drew Fielder coming in from Georgetown, I'm not like completely sold on, but he'll be good in the Mountain West. Dylan Andrews is the key.
Yeah.
I think they actually need Dylan Andrews to be their best player and not Andrew Meadow, or be a 1-2 punch, which could be. Like now that I say it, thinking about those two with the system, they probably will finish second or third, but I have them at 4.
It's the consistency that does it for me, and I think you and I we actually haven't talked about this, but I think we may differ on our overall thoughts on the conference. I think this is kind of a down year for the Mountain West.
Interesting.
And so I'm betting on the second and third teams here based on consistency. Boise State, top 5 Ken Pom team the last 4 years.
Go back to that, though. You think it's a down year in the Mountain West because why?
I think after the first team, it's just a drop off a cliff, kind of.
Okay, interesting. Right. I think that elevates the quality of the whole entire conference because San Diego State is not going to go undefeated in conference play. It won't happen.
Right.
They're not good enough offensively to make that happen.
I'm not saying that they will.
So, like, when you look at it from the outside and on the surface, you have the Mountain West, which has been very good, take out March success outside of one team every now and then. It's been a very good conference, and you add GCU in, and potentially on paper, their best roster they've had in the last, maybe ever out in their short history as a program. It's a loaded last year for the Mountain West. I hear what you're saying, but I think you're overthinking it. I think, yeah, sure, they're going to beat each other up. They do that every single year in this conference. You want the best teams possible. You want as many good teams as you can possibly get. So throw GCU in there. You have a lot of good teams in the middle and at the top. I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
I think Grand Canyon, who I have at number 4, by the way, has.
Let's start at 2 and 3, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think that they have maybe the highest ceiling after San Diego State.
Okay.
But again, new conference, and we'll get to them in a minute. I have Boise State at 2, and I already kind of teased this, but I have Utah State just from a consistency standpoint. And then I think after that
is a mess, you're saying.
Yeah, but I think like 4 through 8, anybody could take a jump and be 2 or 3.
So you have Boise State, Utah State, GCU, you're saying, at
That's
2, 3,
correct.
4. I have Utah State at number 2.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Aggies because first of all, I do want to go to Logan this year. I'm going to make that happen. They've been hounding me to go. I'm going to make it happen. BYU.
Between Utah State and BYU, you may have to take
I'm going.
out.
I'm going. They're close to each other. They're close to each other.
They are.
Utah State. Let's talk about them.
Okay.
They have on paper the best returner in the conference, Mason Falslev. He was awesome. He's their leader. They returned 50% of their roster with him. They have 4 3-star freshmen coming in, 3 other power transfers coming in, and 1 Gary Clark from Corpus Christi, who was awesome last year.
I know you really like him, too.
I like him. He was awesome. I think that's a really good 1-2 punch right there. And then you think about Utah State Voodoo Magic. They are always good. Jared Calhoun's a great coach.
He's
the
great.
fact that he's there for a year 2 is great for Utah State because they've been losing their coaches so quickly. But he's a great coach. He basically never has losing seasons. They were really good last year. They have really high assist totals. They have great ball movement, offensive system with a guard who has been there, obviously, and is going to be one of the best mid-major or non-power guards in the entire country.
Yep.
But the Utah State voodoo magic, like there is something about it. I don't know what it is exactly. They always find good coaches. Their teams always outperform their quality on paper. They won't be, when you look at them, like when you look at Ian Martinez, as you know as a Maryland fan,
Yep.
you look at him and you say, Ian Martinez, like, can't be that good. Then he drops 30
He was
against
great, yeah.
San Diego State or whoever. Like,
And he was perfect for the crowd.
yeah, and they're my thing is they're really good this year. They return a lot. They return maybe arguably the player of the year in the conference, you could argue. And on top of that, they're Utah State. They're always good. So I have them finishing 2.
Okay, I think they probably have a little bit of a higher ceiling than Boise State.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because they're offensive.
Right, but with that said, they could be a little inconsistent. It's a really hard place to play. Jared Calhoun's a great coach. I actually meant to say this at the top before we jumped into it. This is bar none my favorite conference of coaches in the country.
The coaches are so good.
It's a great mix.
Even like down to like Sonny Wicks, which we're gonna get to at Wyoming. Eric Olin, like Josh Pastner.
Tim Miles coaches one of the worst teams in the conference.
Ali Faroukmanesh.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
It's a really good name. Jared Calhoun, great young mind. Utah State is a really hard place to play.
There's nothing bad to say about them. You have them at 3.
I have them number 3.
That's fair. They are always better in conference than they are on a national stage too. I will add that too. They make sense. So I have them. So I have San Diego State, Utah State 1 and 2. You have San Diego State, Boise State. Your number. So you have San Diego State, San Diego State, Boise State, Utah State, GCU.
Yes.
I have San Diego State, Utah State, GCU, Boise State.
Got it. Okay.
We talked about Boise State. Oh yeah. GCU Mountain West team. I'm wearing the hoodie.
Let me tell you,
Periwinkle,
when
I
we went to
it
that
is.
campus
That was
and
lit.
we walked into the team store, the periwinkle stuff
This is Periwinkle, right?
is what lavender maybe.
Shout out to Tyler Kilgore, head of social on the show
Yay,
also.
Lopes up.
Yeah, it was awesome last year. So I don't think this is a bias thing at all. I looked at the rosters. I thought about who they are as
No,
teams.
they're really good this year.
Their ceiling, like you said, is much higher than Boise State's to me because they've been so good in the WAC every single year. I think they've 4 NCAA tournaments in a row. Is that right?
4
NCAA tournaments in a row.
But they kind of
What?
underperformed last year.
I mean, they were.
I know.
Yeah, they played Maryland.
Sure.
Get out of here.
You said it.
They played Maryland.
You said it.
No,
I'm not talking about tournament. I mean the regular season too.
That's fair. And we were at a game that they beat Western Kentucky on a buzzer beater. They lost a couple of
early in the season.
They lost a couple. They also went through really bad health issues last year,
Yep.
which in turn kind of screwed them in WAC play a little bit. They ended up getting there. I think that's what matters. 4 NCAA tournaments in a row in the WAC, which is a really good conference for a program that is so young and has been so unorthodox. I think is so awesome and so impressive to me. I think they can come in and contend right away in the Mountain West.
Talk about tough places to play, by the way.
Holy shit.
My concern, and the reason I have them 4, and I thought about them at 5-2, is the WAC is good. The Mountain West on the road is really tough.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think there's going to be an adjustment. I think Bryce Drew's a good coach. They have enough returning minutes that it's going to work. They have the
transfers though are crazy.
Really high level transfer the Norfolk State kid, right?
Brian Moore from Norfolk State, Dusty Stromer. I don't know if
good.
you're not tapped into recruiting as much. Dusty Stromer coming out of high school, going to Gonzaga, was like super highly touted recruit.
It didn't work
He has
out.
shown flashes in the couple of years he's been there. I think he's going to succeed much more here. He'll have a little more freedom. And Nana Owusu coming in from Brown.
Yep.
I watched a lot of Ivy League ball last year. Nana Owusu was awesome. He's like a 6'8", 6'9", big power forward, but he can put it down.
Yeah.
He's strong. He plays two-way. He was one of the best players in the Ivy League last year, but because of like Xavier Lee and a lot of flashy guys.
Yeah, they have Nana come. Like it's
I
a
think
good
he's.
roster.
Nana's going to be their rock. They have guard play. They return to guys like Mekhi Williams. Like I don't see how GCU isn't a top 4 or 5 team in the conference. There's no way.
Me if you've heard this before, GCU is going to be a lot of fun this year.
Hell yeah, we might have to go back out there. And they have money and recruiting and resources, and everyone loves it there. So like the vibes are going to be high.
I started with this. I'll end with it. Lopes up.
Lopes up. All right, so we each have a top 4. Let's go on to number 5. I'll let you start again.
I have the artist formerly known as the Dentist, a.k.a. Josh Pastner at UNLV.
Took me a second.
He wore the screen for a long time.
During the pandemic at Georgia
It was
Tech.
even after the pandemic. I have UNLV there. Really interesting.
I love them.
Yeah, the roster is fascinating.
Can we go through it real fast?
Yeah, let's go.
Actually, I got to pull it up.
Give me the Ryan Hammer breakdown of
who
the
their
UNLV
transfers
roster,
are?
which, by the way, is returning almost no minutes.
No. They do have a
Obviously.
couple freshmen. Tyron Jones is a 4-star coming in. I think he's from out in Utah somewhere.
Kamani Hamilton.
All right, I'm going to the freshman first.
Oh, okay.
Kamani Hamilton from High Point,
Sure.
awesome, athletic, two-way forward. He was a little reckless in the tournament, I remember, but he's good. He's played at a high level with High Point, obviously. Emmanuel Steffen from Arizona, and I'm getting the power guys. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn from Illinois.
Yeah, really good.
Dre Gibbs Lawhorn is like a Big Ten like sicko fan darling, and he's awesome. He's crafty. He has shown so many flashes at Illinois. I actually think that Dre Gibbs Lawhorn is going to be first team all conference this year. I think he's going to be that good.
Okay.
I think he's going to be their dude. Al Green from Louisiana Tech, Laji Dembele from Iowa, Nas Cunningham from Alabama. Nas Cunningham.
Yeah. He's the one I have starred and circled on here too.
I want to say he was class of 2022 or 3, whatever it was. At one point in the high school cycle, he was the number 1 recruit in the country.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be at UNLV under Josh Pastner. That's crazy. He is good. He hasn't been able to play at Alabama. They've been loaded with guards. I mentioned Kamani Hamilton. Miles Che
that was the one.
from UC Irvine is an awesome player. Irvine was a tournament quality team last year, and Miles Che was a huge part of that. He's they're kind of like their X Factor microwave scorer. He's awesome. He's smaller, like 6', 6'1". He wears baggy shorts usually too. Like he's old school too. He's
really
good.
like him. By the way, UNLV is the other team with Grand Canyon. I think they could finish second in the conference.
They have
roster's
the most
good enough.
UNLV, without a doubt, has the most variability in the Mountain West, and maybe one of the most variable teams in the entire country. Like they really do, because also Howie Fleming from UT Rio Grande Valley. Forgot to mention that.
It's a new system, new coaching staff completely.
Everything is new. Josh Pastner coached at Georgia Tech 3 years ago.
I know.
But he's been in the media world, which I actually think could be a strength of his. In the modern landscape of college basketball, you need to understand things have changed beyond the court too. People talk about NIL money in the portal, but which he did a great job at.
Yeah.
But the game has changed so much on the floor also, analytically wise, using analytics intelligently, schematically. I think Josh Pastner, watching him work for like ESPN, ACC Network, I actually think, I know he's smart.
It definitely makes him more relatable, I think, for recruits.
That's true. And they know who he is.
Yeah, they know who he is. We've been saying this for the whole conference. UNLV, another tough place to play. All these it's a good home court.
Thomas and Mack, solid.
Do you have them at 5, by the way?
No, I have them at 6.
Okay.
Which this is where 5, 6, and 7 to me. I'm like
just flip flop
5, 6, and 7. I could have anywhere.
Okay.
I like UNLV a lot. I put them at 6 because like they should be a tournament team this year. UNLV should be a tournament team, but the variability scares me. Josh Pastner they didn't succeed a lot at Georgia Tech. Like the teams weren't great. They went to the tournament one year, barely. I think that was the Jose Alvarado year. He's smart, he's intelligent, he's unique the way he has he sets his teams up to defend schematically, but I just get kind of worried that like they got guys.
Yeah.
I don't think they got guys that like fit a certain system and play. I think they just got who they could, which I kind of get. They will have games where you're like, holy shit, this might be a dark horse in Cinderella in March.
Okay.
I don't know. I could also see them being 500 on the year and not even being close to a tournament bid.
I think you're almost teasing your number 5. So why don't you go ahead?
My number 5 is Colorado State.
Oh no, actually, I was wrong.
5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Let's just do 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
My
I'm
5,
sure
6,
it's the
and
same
7.
3 teams.
I have Colorado State, UNLV, and New Mexico.
I have UNLV, New Mexico, Colorado State.
They could all finish 5, 6, or 7.
I agree.
1,000%. It won't be all 3 of them, but I could see any of these teams, not all of, but any of them could finish top 3 even.
Yep.
Like if things go well for UNLV, they'll go really well. If things go well for New Mexico with Eric Olin, they will go incredibly well right away. Which that's the most like UNLV is maybe the most interesting team in the country. New Mexico is one of the sleepers from.
Well, New Mexico is also bringing back 0 minutes this year.
Same thing as UNLV basically, but I have Colorado State. Where do you have? You have.
I have Colorado State at 7.
Got you, and I'm okay with that. Ali Farouk-Manesh, the March Madness legend himself, is the coach.
The Kansas Dagger legend. I don't know what to call him.
The March Madness legend. He
coached under Nico for a while.
Yeah, I want to say so. He's been on staff at Colorado State since 2018.
Right.
When Nico Medved started. So he's been with Nico the entire time that Nico was at Colorado State during the years of great success. Nico was an awesome coach. He's a guy that had a great winning program. They went to tournaments. They were really high-ranked teams in the tournament with like David Roddy. They were great last year with Nick Clifford, obviously. And they also produced great players. They developed players really well. I know the players love Ali also. Nick Clifford told me that. Like, he's so happy for him. He knows he's going to do well. I don't think the system is going to be super different. He'll have his own twist on it, but from what we've seen in recent years with Nico Medved, and I think that's a good thing for Colorado State. They don't return a ton. They have a couple of guys coming back, like Rashawn and Bemba, and I don't think their additions are like prolific
Steiner,
on the surface. I know that leagues like this, if you have systems that can get a lot out of like down transfers, like Carey Booth, who I love,
Nunez.
Notre Dame, Illinois. Now he's at Colorado State. One of those like hybrid stretch fives, a little bit of a 4, but in the Mountain West he'll be really strong. I think he'll have a breakout season. I just think that they'll be good enough because the system won't change that much. And for programs with first-year head coaches do get overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you don't always see like a Drake and Ben McCullum be amazing or whatever, but new coaches, people overlook them in a sense of like, they're just like, it's going to take them time no matter what. In the current landscape, it doesn't always take time.
Yeah.
And I think Ali is one of the guys who has experience enough as the next in line for the program for years to be able to succeed right away.
Well, and I think these 3 teams are also in the same grouping because the coaching situation is pretty similar, which is Pastner's back into coaching, Olin's taking a bigger job, Farouk Manesh's first official head coaching job. Like, I'm very confident, as I'm sure you are, that all 3 of them are going to be successful coaches. It might just take a couple years to get there.
There's
in the Mountain West or Pac-12.
There's no way that all 3 of these teams are tournament teams.
They can't be.
They can't be because... But unless like GCU, because like to me, San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State are going to be actually, I don't think it's that simple for Boise State this year.
Okay.
It's not that simple. San Diego State is a tournament team for me for sure. Actually, let's talk about this first.
Okay.
That's the cutoff at 7. Let's get to New Mexico actually, and then we'll come back to this.
Okay.
New Mexico is
full flip job.
Complete 0% returning minutes. Eric Olin, the UC San Diego coach from last year, he's going to adapt. The system's going to be fun and unique and tough to play against.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know how easy it is to transition as a coach from the Big West to the Mountain West without bringing many of your players. I think he only has one UCSD guy on the roster, and he wasn't one of their best players. Hayden Gray, Aniwa, Tyler McGuy, they all graduated and left. So I don't think it's that simple. They kind of feel like New Mexico kind of feels like the misfits, but kind of in a good way because they will be overlooked. And I think, talk about unorthodox, Eric Olin's one of the most unorthodox schematic coaches and stylistic in the country. And they're going to have a UCSD player. He's got 2 European hybrid forwards who have never played American basketball.
It's going to be a ton of fun.
D2 talent, former high recruits. I just think it makes sense for a coach like him. I could see them finishing. If things go well, they're the team that I'm like, they finished 3rd in the league, 2nd, sure.
This is like the end of my group where I think they could finish 2nd or 3rd. I am all in on Eric Olin.
He's great
in general there. I think it might take a year or 2 for him to get there just because you mentioned it, the talent level. But I think what everyone's going to realize with Eric Olin, obviously last year at UCSD was where I think this is kind of like Dusty May, where he's been a really good coach for a while.
Okay.
And it took 1 year for everybody to actually see it.
Oh, I like that.
I think this is going to take a year or 2 before Eric Olin gets this thing rolling.
And New Mexico's staying in the Mountain West.
Right.
So when
most of the other teams we talked about are not.
Utah State's gone.
Boise's gone.
San Diego State, Colorado State. It's going to be UNLV, New Mexico, and GCU at the top.
You forgot about Fresno State leaving too.
Okay, sorry. No offense. UNLV, teams that are good now. UNLV, New Mexico, GCU at the top.
Yeah.
If that ain't an opportunity, Eric Olin's so smart. Oh my god.
So in for a UNLV New Mexico Grand Canyon led Mountain West is going to be awesome.
It's going to be kind of like what the WAC was, but a little better.
It's going to be fun.
A little bit better. But I have New Mexico at 7. Let's talk about the top 7 we have here.
Right.
I'm going to list them out in whatever my order and real fast, just so we have them listed out.
Great.
San Diego State, Utah State, GCU, Boise State, Colorado State, UNLV, New Mexico. Do you see anyone else before we get into the bottom part? Do you see anyone else as a potential tournament team or no? But yeah, beyond the 7.
I think Nevada's sneaky, but no.
Okay, so this 7, how many teams are in the tournament at the end in March?
So this is my hot take. I think of the conference. I'll just give it to you now.
Go ahead.
I think this would be the first time since the COVID year, or wait, no, the post-COVID, this
2021.
2021 season. That this has happened, but I think only 3 teams make it from the Mountain West.
Interesting, because they beat each other up. You're saying?
It's been 4 or more every other
Yeah,
year.
and you see that happen a lot with a lot of conferences, but the bigger conferences get the benefit of the doubt with
Yeah.
situations like this, where the Mountain West won't.
Like I said, I think it's like kind of a down
Yeah.
year after SDSU.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
You say 3?
I think 3, yeah. I hope it's more. It's a really fun
I think the
conference.
under over would probably be 4.5 or 4 flat, maybe.
Yeah.
Because like it probably is going to be about 4.
Yeah.
I would take the over on whatever it is, or 4 or 4.5, knowing that there are 7 potential teams.
By the way, the last
that
4
can make
seasons,
sense.
4, 6, 4, 4.
All right, so 4.5, we'll call it.
Okay.
And that makes sense.
Okay.
I would take the over on 5. You're going to take definitely the under.
I'll take the under, but I really hope I'm wrong about this one.
Yeah, this could be a generational season.
I just think they're going to beat each other up.
They will.
And I think that
They do that every year already, though.
I understand that.
I don't think it's much of a problem. I hear what you're saying, but I think every good conference does that.
I want to be
every
wrong.
single
I want to be wrong.
Every single good conference does that, and I don't think it's gonna be a
I
problem.
want to be wrong.
All right, let's get on to the bottom real fast. I'll have you list out the next 5 teams, I guess,
Yeah,
and then I'll do my 5, and then see if we have touch on
I
everything.
have Nevada at 8, Wyoming at 9, San Jose State, Fresno State, Air Force.
Okay, I have Nevada. It's Nevada, by the way.
Well, I'm from New Jersey, so I say things funny.
So am I. It's Nevada. Nevada.
Whatever.
At 8, I have Fresno State at 9. A little bit of a dark horse.
We're gonna get a little blurb from you there.
Wyoming, San Jose State, and then Air Force. Let me say something about Air Force. I'm sorry. You're going to have to stick at the bottom. San Jose State also, they haven't been good.
The academy, the military academy schools in the NIL world.
Especially when they're in big conferences like this. Like, shouldn't they make their own?
Air Force is only in the Mountain West because of football. Let's just call a spade here.
Should they make their own conference? But that's the travel would be terrible. Citadel, wait, it's not a, sorry,
it's really
not.
just Army, Navy, Air Force.
Army, Navy, no, VMI.
We did this already. VMI is
it's
not.
Called, no, VMI is. It's Austin P that's not.
Okay, we did this already.
It's called Virginia
way,
Military Institute.
We did a short clip about Austin P.
Yes.
There was a little bit of a back and forth.
I thought it was a military school, but their coach just wore a military uniform, so that's on me. But VMI, Army, Navy, Air Force, the Citadel.
Sure.
But then one of them is going to be a 16 seed every year.
Yeah, that's
love that.
That's not gonna. So,
anyways,
so I had Nevada, Wyoming, San Jose State, Fresno State.
Fresno State is my dark horse, like deep dark horse in the conference, in the Mountain West this year.
Okay.
They returned their two basically their best players. Michael Robinson wasn't fully healthy last year, but he was, when he was playing, he was one of their best players. And Zayon Collins, who was definitely their best player, who should be an all-conference player this year. Also, Vance Wahlberg. You know Vance Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. He coached at Pepperdine a while back. Then he went to the NBA for a long, long time. Now he's back coaching college for only his second stint, and realistically, first time ever, it feels like. Fresno State last year, they were bad. He's in his second year, though, as a head coach, and he somehow is returning his 2 best players.
Yeah. But by the way, I was talking about
huge.
This conference of coaching, the quote-unquote bottom of the conference coaching. You already said Vance Wahlberg, Steve Alford, Tim Miles, Sundance Wicks. Those are good.
Sonny Wicks is my guy.
Those are good basketball coaches.
Yeah, I love Sonny Wicks, too. He was at Green Bay before Gottlieb, too, yeah. I just think Fresno State, like, if you look at a team from the bottom half that we're talking about here to make some noise, I look at the team that returns their 2 best players and has a coach that is unproven and people are kind of just counting out as a team, and they might finish second to last again. I have no idea. But if I had to take a shot on someone, I don't think Nevada's roster is good enough. I like Steve Alford. He's been to 2 tournaments in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Their roster, when
they were supposed to be better last year.
Yes, I love Kobe Sanders, my guy. They still weren't as good. When they've been good, they hyperfixate on 1 or 2 players, and they have good rosters. Like when they had Jared Lucas a few years ago, he had him for 2 seasons. They also had Darian Williams 1 year when he was a freshman, who started at Nevada. They had a couple of other really good players, Keenan Blackshear.
Yeah.
Last year they had Kobe Sanders, and I just think like they don't have those guys this year. Someone could break out a little bit, but I don't see Nevada's
they really
roster.
need like Tyler Rollison to be the guy, and
I don't see Nevada's roster anywhere near good enough, as good as it has been. So I don't think they're going to be anything close to a tournament team.
Okay. I don't really have a hot take for the bottom also.
Okay.
It would be really cool to see Fresno State mess
That'd be
around
cool.
and be good.
Shut up, Paul George. All right, let's get on with it. Let's get at some awards. I'll let you kind of stage it for me, I guess.
Okay.
Because I know this is where I'm going to have to take over a little bit. So,
Whoa. I have takes too. I think that for the benefit of the listeners,
fine.
let's have you start to talk about. I'll give you some awards.
Okay.
You start to talk about them, and I'll interject with my commentary as well. So
we're doing Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, and Coach of the Year, and all conference.
Can you give me your whole first team all conference, and Player of the Year?
Sure. My first team all conference in the Mountain West. I'll give you both too. My first and second team all conference in the Mountain West.
Love
First
that.
team, Miles Bird for sure.
Okay.
Mason Falslev for sure.
Okay.
Those were two I wrote down, and then I started to think about it.
I think that those are the obvious two.
One of those two will win Conference Player of the Year. I'll get to it.
Okay.
First team all conference, Miles Bird, Mason Falslev, Magoon Gawath at San Diego State, Nana Owusu Anane from GCU, and I have Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, first team all conference.
Yeah, you did say that.
Like if things go well for UNLV, they're gonna have someone step up as the dude. It could be Kamani Hamilton. It probably is Kamani Hamilton or Dre Gibbs Lawhorn.
I think the chances are
it's one of them too. It's probably Kamani Hamilton more than anyone else. I just think of a guard like a guard taking over that team that could really elevate their ceiling. So
if you don't know which one it's going to be, that's a really good thing for them.
Yeah, and I do have Kamani Hamilton on the second team.
Of course you do.
So he's on my second team. Brian Moore over at GCU coming in from Norfolk State. Reese Waters, healthy if he's fully healthy. I love him. Andrew Meadow at Boise State, who I considered for first team. And then I have 6 guys on second teams,
Dylan
whatever.
Andrews?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't put him, but I want to put him. So I'm gonna do
Swap him
Brian Moore. Ooh, this is tough. I'll go. Let me take out Brian Moore actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out Brian Moore because
he is going to score in bunches.
I'm not gonna take him out. I'm gonna stick with what I have. Okay. Brian Moore, Reese Waters, Kamani Hamilton, Andrew Meadow.
Okay.
Ooh, this is tough. I wanted to put Josh Pasquarelli at CSU, but I will go with Dylan Andrews.
Yeah, we said Dylan Andrews.
I'll go Dylan Andrews as the 5th guy there. And I considered Zayon Collins from Fresno State. But Pasquarelli and Zayon Collins I'll have as like an honorable mention here.
Who do you have as your Player of the Year?
It's going to be Falslev or Miles Bird. The team success thing, I didn't look into like history of team success into Player of the Year award versus all first team all conference
but Utah State's going to be good too.
I understand that. All conference awards, they heavily index towards good teams, always.
Well, wait till I have a take, but you go first.
But that's why I said that 3 San Diego State guys will be first or second team, and it could be a 4 or 5 of them, honestly. Yeah. But for the Player of the Year, I'm gonna go. I'll go Falslev.
Okay.
I think Mason Falslev's gonna win. I just think San Diego State's gonna be a little more balanced with Reese Waters coming back and bringing in Sean Newman also, who could also be all conference. Like, I'll go with Falslev because he's going to be the guy at Utah State. I know they're going to be good. There's Utah State voodoo magic, and he's awesome.
I actually agree with you that if I had to pick a Player of the Year based strictly on who I think is going to have the best numbers and be the best player on their team, it would be Mason Falslev.
And you know the team's going to be good.
And I know they're going to be good. I think that there is a very strong chance that San Diego State has 3 guys on first team. I think they're going to be.
Did I not have 3? Bird, Magoon Gawath. Oh, I had Reese Waters on the third team.
I think Reese Waters is first team.
Yeah, right. And like Nana Owusu and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn were more of little out there.
Sure.
I just wanted to spread the love a little bit.
No, sure. It's like
spread the love.
Gun to head. I guess I'm picking Miles Bird strictly because to your point.
And you said also that you think San Diego State's going to be much better in conference play also versus everyone else than I think. Than I think at least.
Sure.
So that means that you're going to heavily index towards that. I like that hot take though. 3 San Diego State players make first team all Mountain West.
I think it's probably Bird, Magoon, and Waters.
Yeah, well, Magoon and Bird are going to be the dude for sure. Magoon can score 3 points a game, and it's irrelevant.
So let's quickly transition to your defensive player of the year.
I'll take the guy who won last year as a freshman, and he's going to be on the best defense in the country potentially. I'll take Magoon Gawath. Yes.
Okay, that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Newcomer of the year.
If I have Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, I have Nana Owusu also.
You said both of them.
But if I have Dre Gibbs Lawhorn as first team all conference, I'm going to stick with him
really spoiling this all,
as newcomer of the year. Especially if he can play of that quality and be the lead guy for UNLV, he's also like, I hate to say this, but like the storylines and the agenda and narrative behind it of the flashy transfer down kind of guard, like Brandon Pajemski was over at Santa Clara. Like newcomer of the year, I'll go Dre Gibbs Lawhorn.
Okay. That leaves coach of the year.
This was actually tough for me because if San Diego State's going to be amazing, it'll be Brian Dutcher. Like if they're going to be top 10, 15 in the country.
If they win the conference by 2 or 3 games, like I'm saying,
it's without a doubt Brian Dutcher. But I think because of the dark horses, like Bryce Drew at GCU, in my opinion. Think about this, right?
Great coach.
I have them at number 3. I considered putting them at number 2 in my power rankings. If they finish 2 or 3, even if they're 4 games out of first place, I'm just but
this is a definition of the award thing,
right? But because of the narrative point of view, especially for Coach of the Year, like in all of sports, I think they like to give it to guys that are just like uniquely doing an unexpectedly good job.
Overachieve, yeah.
Brian Dutcher's standards are so high. Bryce Drew just has to be like just compete to be maybe a tournament team. That's their standard this year, and I think they could be a really safe tournament team. So if they are and they finish second or third, it'll be Bryce Drew. I also think because their first year in the conference, and one of them is a first-time head coach, Ali Faroukmanesh and Eric Olin, if one of them finishes top 3 or 4, they'll win too.
Yeah, it's funny. If it's a 1 or 2 game conference difference, if we're assuming SDSU wins the conference, and one of those guys is in second, I agree with you. They win.
I didn't give you my answer. It's Brian Dutcher.
Okay.
They're gonna be so good that like
really good.
I think at some point it's just gonna be like, yeah, they're clearly the best team, and we'll just give it to him.
Okay.
So
did I miss any awards?
Bold prediction maybe.
Well, yeah,
I don't really
I
have
one. I
one.
gave a couple already. Do you have anything?
Yeah,
I mean, you've given yours.
I have one fun fact.
Okay.
Fun fact that I'm not making a prediction on, but I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about it. The Mountain West has never in its existence ever had 2 teams go to the Sweet 16 in the same year. Does that surprise you though at all? Yeah. Ever.
It surprises you because you pick that every year.
No, but like how long has the conference been around?
A long time, I assume.
I think so at least. But like, oh man, I don't know. I just think that blew my mind because they have had a lot of good teams in the past. Not
by the
just
way, it hasn't
times.
been that long. It's only 1999. Just looked it up. 27 years.
That still surprises me.
Yeah, but I feel like the Mountain West. No, I don't feel like this is a factual statement. The Mountain West is always a popular make to Sweet 16, and it just rarely happens outside of San Diego State. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, right, and honestly, their Final Four run, I was on them from the beginning of the year, but like, I mean, it was crazy they got there, and they had some lucky draws out the way there, and like whatever. But yeah, I mean, the Mountain West has struggled a lot. The problem is they struggle to win first round games. They struggle to win early. Like Utah State, I think they beat. Was it 2 years ago when they had to play Purdue? They won the 8-9 game. Then they got murdered versus Purdue.
Yeah,
last
the
year
Grand Canyon, Maryland thing. Yeah,
right. Last year they were the 10 seed. Utah State, they struggled heavily. I think
Grand Canyon
whatever the 7 was.
But
West still, it doesn't matter. I like New Mexico did beat Marquette in the first round this past year.
Colorado State got out too.
And Colorado State, to be fair, if they would have had almost any other 4 seed except for Maryland, they probably would have gotten out.
Yeah, I know. It took a remarkable shot from Derek Queen.
Yeah, and they realistically, Colorado State should have won the game.
They were better.
So they were better for the majority of the game. So they should have won that game. But still, the point of like they can't find the recipe to get teams to succeed in March. I don't think it's a stylistic thing. I don't think it's a quality issue. I just think it's coincidental because they all the time their seeds, they might get a 5 seed or a 4 seed like a San Diego State, but usually they're 7 through 11 or 12 seeds.
Yeah.
And those odds are against you for every single team to get out of the first weekend because like you're going to have to play a 2, 3.
You know that I'm a law of averages guy. I would love for this like swan song almost of the Mountain West to be the year that things go really right for them.
Yeah, bold prediction. I guess I'll say last year of the real Mountain West, 2 teams get to the Sweet 16.
Love it.
And if I had to say who they are, I'll say San Diego State, and I will say UNLV, GCU.
GCU, you're wearing it.
I'll just take a shot here. So that's what I got.
Okay, I got 3 really fast Q&A,
and then we'll wrap
from our fans online.
Okay.
Walter Jenkins on Twitter. What are your expectations, or what are the expectations, I guess, for the first year of Eric Olin and Ali Faroukmanesh? Let's do this quick.
Yeah, I think different answer. Ali, you'll see you'll have a better standard, I think, and higher floor than expected. And Olin, you'll see the opposite, a lot of variability where they'll struggle in games, but they'll also kick the shit out of teams where you don't expect them to.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the expectation is
Olin's
effort. I don't know.
They're both really good long term. And Ali's going to be a Pac-12 head coach next year. Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Good for him.
Isn't that crazy? All right. Question number 2 from Joshua Sheldon on Instagram. Kind of a wild question, but let's play it out here.
I'm going to close.
What is UNLV's path to winning the conference?
San Diego State being terrible on offense.
Can't score, yeah.
But they're going to be fine with Reese and they're going to be fine. But the path is San Diego State is awful offensively.
Yeah.
And they struggle. They get really, really cold. They can't shoot the ball. And then also they need to click from day one. They're gonna play in Players Era in the beginning of the year, down the street from them and at their home, but it ain't gonna be easy for them.
No.
And
I think we said. Oh no, that
they
was
have
San
Maryland
Diego
and
State.
Alabama or Gonzaga, I think, or something.
I think it's Alabama.
They're gonna go. They might probably go 0-2, and that's fine. That will tell us right there if they can win the conference. They probably won't win the conference, but if they can put up a fight, maybe snag a win or like really tight games in those 2 games there in Players Era, that'll tell you early on if they're going to be able to build something to contend in the conference.
I think the answer is they need San Diego State to struggle offensively, and they probably need Kamani to be
the dude and Dre,
like an obvious first team all conference guy.
I think they need Dre. I think they need a guard to step up too, whether it's Miles or Dre or whoever. Okay. So.
Last question. This is a fun one, kind of talking about what you were just talking about. You may have just answered it. Who's making a legit March Madness run from this conference? By the way, this comes from Noah Dillon on Instagram. Let's save the SDSU for a second.
I don't think San Diego State's the answer. Okay. Although, if they're going to end up being a top 10, 15 team in the country.
Let's not say them.
All right, but I'm just saying, if I want to, because if they are offensively capable, if they reach their offensive ceiling, they are a team that should be a Final Four team in a lot of brackets. Mm-hmm. In March. If they don't click offensively and they're inconsistent, like we have seen them be very often in the last few years, then they could be a first round or a weekend exit for sure. Okay. Even as like a 2 or 3 seed, whatever they might end up being as the highest. That being said, I don't think Boise State is a team to make a run in March. If UNLV's Colorado State and New Mexico get to the tournament, they're those 3 are the types of teams that I would watch out for the most. Utah State has shown me nothing to make me confident they're going to be able to do that. Although, shooting the ball, year 2 of Calhoun, Mason being there again, I'll say, but I think GCU has the firepower to compete with power teams more. So I will say outside of San Diego State, the answer is GCU.
Okay. I'll say Boise State strictly because I refuse to gatekeep Andrew Meadow from the rest of the country.
People know him, but fair.
No, everybody has to know him. He's a really good basketball player. And the rec specs don't hurt. And again, I agree with you. I think Boise State from a ceiling floor play is actually pretty tight because their floor is their ceiling almost.
The ceiling is the floor. What is it?
Michael Jordan said the
ceiling is the roof. Why did I say the floor? Ceiling is the roof.
I think they're going to be very safe, but I think if Meadow has a really good year on top of Dylan Andrews.
Dylan Andrews is nice. We'll see how good offensively he is. He's the kind of the X factor for them. So
follow the show everywhere.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for watching as always. We are conference preview is going to keep going. I think we're doing A10 next week. Yep. Don't hold me to that completely, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be A10. Go watch a recent episode we did on mid majors also to watch around the country. We talk about the MVC, the SoCon. I forget what else, Ivy League, etc. Go watch that. But again, appreciate y'all for being here, especially at the end. Like and follow, leave a review, sub, etc., depending on the platform you're on. And we hope you have a great week, and we will see you again next week for another conference preview.
Love you.